Welcome back to White Fox After Hours.
Welcome.
I'm Scarlett.
And I'm Cody.
And today we are telling you our dating rules.
Yes, we're bringing you our dating rule book. These are the things that we follow. And they're pretty niche.
They are quite niche.
They're pretty dumb, but I think they're hilarious. And we're going to have some funny dating chats because you guys love the dating chats.
Yes. And because we're certified in dating, we have our master degree in dating. It's something we specialize in.
Is it?
Well, it's something that we do
Sometimes.
and we talk a lot about.
Yeah. And you know what? These rules, I think they have eliminated some of the potential bad dates that I would have gone on. So
yeah, true.
We're going to take you through a few categories. So we've got some dating app rules because there's a lot that
etiquette.
There's a lot that can go wrong in dating apps. And I feel like I've seen a few people on my TikTok recently talking about their dating app rules, and they're just so funny because some of them I'm like, how could you get that wrong? Like, where are we missing it? Like, obviously we're not compatible if you're doing that.
Well, I've always said, I think, and this just reminded me, I really need to start my side hustle of helping boys on Hinge. I had a whole plan for that because I really think they need some help. They, for one, need some help with their just selecting photos, maybe getting a few more candid ones.
Yes.
Their style, we have spoken about that as well, but I can put your Hinge profile together.
A worthwhile investment. And then we're moving on to meeting in the wild, a few things that you can avoid or try to do when you're meeting someone in the wild. And this is for both sides as well. So the person that you're meeting, rules for them that you can follow, and also rules for you when you're in that situation. And then we've got some like in dating, first dates, post date, while dating kind of vibes. So we've covered all the bases.
And I think these are quite essential. Like, these are just things that should be obvious, but they're clearly not. Like, they
really
should be
not.
obvious dating rules. This is just the dating etiquette that should just be
the standard.
But
and yet here we are.
Yeah, people keep lowering the standard, and we're just going to give you our dating rules.
Yeah. So for all of our single girlies, this is the official dating rule book of White Fox After Hours.
And boys, I feel like boys, you should be listening to this because there are some things in here that could help you get a hot date.
That's true. If you want to date with one of us.
If you want to go on a date, here is how to do it. Dating apps, first topic.
Let's get into it. Number one, and I shouldn't even have to say this. Like, honestly, this baffles me that people do this. You can't post a picture with someone that's hotter than you. Like, your first photo, and you can tell some guys trying to make you think that they are their friend because they've got like 3 photos with their hot friend, and then you scroll to the bottom and it's one photo and it's the other friend. I'm like, now I want your friend, and now I won't just not match you. I'm gonna try and find your friend. I'm gonna go to your Instagram.
It's like
I'm gonna get your friend's Instagram, and I'm gonna try and find your friend.
It's like an organic like shout out for the other friend.
Yeah,
he's like,
you're doing your friend absolute
wonders.
A
favor.
But you, not so much.
It does catch your eye though. Like if you see someone, you're like, oh, who's that? I hope it's him. And then you scroll down and you're like, not. Do you know what though? I've had someone reach out to me and ask me who my friend is.
Okay, it's all right if you like look completely different though. Like, or yeah, if you have like beautiful friends, but you're also stunning. If you're using a hot friend to get attention and a guy maybe doesn't look quite like their friend, I don't understand.
No, I know.
And each to their own. Everyone has different types. But like when it's like a really, really hot person they're comparing themselves to, I'm like, you're not doing yourself any favors.
Doing yourself any favors here. We're gonna be searching for the other friend.
That does sound really mean. But like, guys, come on. Like,
I mean, it's gonna help. It's gonna help someone. But yeah, that is true though. Everyone's type is different.
Yeah.
So like that has happened to me. But
sorry, this is even more mean. Don't take, like, if you're a guy, don't take photos next to your really tall friend if you're not very tall. You just make yourself look really short.
We're just coming into Short King Spring again, aren't we?
No, we're not. And like, I honestly don't.
No, but it just makes you look different, doesn't it? Like,
yeah.
Just if you put yourself by yourself, then you probably are a normal height. But if your
Yeah.
friend's really tall and you're like,
You just like, I mean, dating apps are, the initial is really about the photos and like a bit of the prompts and the vibe. So if you're like setting yourself up for failure, I probably wouldn't have thought about your height if you didn't compare yourself. And it's like, it's just such a quick decision that you're like, oh, probably not. Like, I don't know. I feel like just do yourself a favor and don't do that.
the photos are important because as much as we like to say, oh, we don't date for looks. Yeah, in person, you can date for vibes, and we do. Like, we've said that so many times that if you meet someone in person, it's 100% you wouldn't have matched with them on Hinge because,
For sure.
like, I've been kind of like low-key obsessed with people, then I see them on Hinge and I'm like, I wouldn't have matched with you.
Yeah.
So it is really important how you present yourself on Hinge. Like, it actually is so important. People underestimate how important that is.
I know. The photos are really important. We were talking about this before. I feel like guys need to have a lot more candid photos. And I think you can tell the people that have come out of relationships and it's clear that their like girlfriend has taken those photos of them.
They would have a higher
guys
success
don't
rate.
take good photos of each other.
And like, there is such a difference. Like, I get, there's like the thing of like, if you are a guy, it would be hard. Do you not know a story?
Please.
I was actually dating a guy and I don't know how it came up, but I was at his house and I was sitting with his friend and one of my friends, and he was talking about a photo. And anyway, he was saying when he became single, he had a Hinge photo shoot in his house.
Oh, yes. I remember this.
So I was like, he's like, yeah. So I went out in that balcony and I know the photo because like I matched with him on Hinge, and he had like no shirt on, his beer in his hand, like on his balcony. And it was a great photo. It got me in. Like, grab your friend as a single activity and have it like just a mini photo shoot. Don't tell anyone.
Don't tell anyone. But honestly, I kind of respect the fact that
think
he
it's
was
good.
honest. He's like, yeah, whatever.
That makes it less cringe, doesn't it? Like, if you can just be like, yep, I had a Hinge photo shoot. Even
Yeah.
caption it, here's my Hinge photo shoot. You with the beer.
Oh, that one would probably get me.
Too far. So our second rule in dating apps is don't answer the prompts so literally.
Yeah.
So, for example, when someone is like, my love language is it's quality time and like you need to have all this time for me. I also really need physical touch and I'm looking for someone to come home with and cook dinners with and go for long walks at the beach and blah, 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 blah.
It's giving boring. Like it's giving no personality. Like, okay, great. Everyone wants physical touch and quality time and whatever.
Same doll.
Yeah. But like say something funny. Like
Yeah.
my love language is like catching flights or like some sort of food. It could be anything, but don't
But like
answer
not
it
long
so
walks on the beach with
literally.
my gorgeous princess. No, I don't
Absolutely
know.
not.
But there are a lot of people who do really take it so literally.
Yeah. When they're like, I'm looking for someone kind and caring who's gonna love me.
Do you know what it's
endlessly.
giving?
Like
It's giving like seek.com, like, you know, when like people
Yeah.
like, what, you know what
Posting
people
an
used
ad.
to use? Like people used to be on their like desktop being like, I'm looking for this person that matches you. That's what it's giving. It's giving eHarmony. It is giving eHarmony. Like, it's like, what are you looking for in your life? And like, it's being like really serious. I'm looking for someone to
but
come
like,
home and cook with me at night and travel with. And like, yes, doll, we're all looking for that.
Yeah.
But
But
do
don't
we
say
really
it.
need to put, it is giving like job description, like you ask like an interview question and it's
Yeah.
so serious.
I know. And I feel like, I know we just said that the photos are really important, but the prompts are equally important because sometimes now, like I'll see someone that looks really great in their photos, but if they've got no personality, I'm kind of turned off it. Like
No, I agreed.
It's pretty boring. Like it doesn't sound like you're going to be a vibe at all. Sometimes, yeah, I will still match with you. But it helps you so much. Even if I maybe wasn't going to match with you, but then I like one of your prompts, maybe I will. So the prompts are really important. What are your thoughts on having like, this is actually one of our next points about having too much information in the description part. It kind of gives me the ick if someone's like got their entire life story in their description.
You don't need much.
You don't need much.
Like, I think I have like, I think I only have like 2 things. My job title and where I live. We were just saying before, when people are like looking for, and this one really gets me, just leave it out. where you can say what you're looking for, and you can be like, I'm looking for a short-term relationship. What is that? And why are you saying that?
Yeah. I think personally having
I don't
anything
like
in what
it.
you're looking for, I don't get it.
I understand they're looking for someone, because if you are dating seriously as a guy, when I see that, I'm kind of like, oh, I wouldn't just match with you if I was dating just like to date.
Yeah.
Like you don't really want to, like, you're kind of like, oh, okay, you're looking for something serious. Because I feel like on these apps, it can be taken very much like, oh, this person just wants something not serious. Like,
yeah.
but short-term relationship, does that mean you just want to spend a night with someone? Like, what is that?
I know. It's like so,
What does that mean?
I don't know. It's very inconspicuous. I don't get it as well when it's like long-term relationship open to short. Like, just don't put anything. If you're open to everything, or like figuring out my dating goals. Okay. Like, the worst thing is when they have like a long description after what they're looking for, where it's like, looking for a life partner. I want someone who I can grow old with and have lots of babies and blah, 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 blah. No, like it's just so gross.
It's like, you haven't even met this person yet. If you met them, your first conversation would be like, I'm actually looking for this, you know what I mean? Like, you just want to get to know them. Like, you need to picture it as like, this is your initial meeting.
Yeah.
This is like you in this bar being like, hi. Do we need to know that you want children right now?
No.
Because things change. You could meet someone and be like, okay, this is the love of my life. Am I figuring out my dating goals? You could be thinking, oh, I'm figuring out my dating goals. Then you meet someone that you're obsessed with. Or you could be like, I don't like you. Like, it's different for everyone.
I know.
It's so crazy.
It's so crazy. And when people say things like, oh, we'll just meet and we'll see how we go. Like, how about we just meet and see how we go, and we don't put that in the profile?
It's too much. It's giving too much information.
Too much information is so icky. Like, I just don't understand how people need a reminder of that.
Yeah. It just feels a lot. Like, I just feel like when I see someone, they're like, oh, yeah, I'm looking for that. I'm like, oh, I don't know. I just would rather not know.
Yeah, I agree.
And what else did we say was a no-go? These are like dating like don'ts. They're not even do's. Actually, some of them are do's.
Some of them are do's.
Don't have an eHarmony profile. Think of it like a fun first
just a
meeting.
taster. I think what you said about picturing it as if you've met in person that time, what would you want this stranger to know about you? You don't want, like, people are just like seeing your profile constantly. You don't want these people to know every single thing about you if you don't know them. It's like you're wearing a sign out in the club, like, I'm looking for my life partner.
Literally. And these are the things I want from you.
Yeah.
That is actually so true. It's literally like wearing a shirt saying, I'm open to something short. Open to a short-term relationship. Like, what?
These boys need to be told.
So, yeah, that was our note. We're 80% more likely to reply to you if you are being funny.
Yes. Okay. You can take the, hey, how are you? How was your weekend? And go back to the drawing board, come up with something better, because that's not even a real question. Like, how was your weekend? It was good. Like, it's on me now to elaborate and like take the conversation somewhere else. But I'm like,
Which is, I don't mind doing that. But it's also like, do I really care about how I don't know you.
yeah, literally. And then when they tell you like a detailed paragraph about how their weekend was, like every little, oh my God, I actually have a story.
What's your story?
So I was potentially going to go on a date with this guy, and I asked him how his weekend was after we'd already been talking a bit, and he sends me a voice note talking about how he was moving that weekend and his toilet broke, and he sent me a 1-minute voice note about
the toilet.
the toilet.
A 1-minute voice note.
A 1
just
minute
about
voice
the toilet.
note about how his toilet broke and he had to get a plumber and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, you are not self-aware
There's
enough.
such a fine line between being conversational, because I do like when people elaborate, but that's a whole new level. It's like,
Yeah, it's too over familiar before
Yeah.
we've even met. I don't want to hear about your toilet, really.
yeah.
Good for you. Get that sorted, doll.
Literally.
Yeah.
No, I fully get that. I don't know. I feel like it is hard. And I feel like that's why it's so important to have the funny prompts, because otherwise you do just have to be like a, hey, how are you?
Yeah.
Like if you don't actually initially reply to a prompt and you just like each other, then what are you going to say?
I know.
Like you kind of do need to have something to reply to or
Yeah.
something at least interesting that's going to get like a conversation started.
I think if you like someone, you can then respond to a prompt as a message once you match, but it's much easier to just respond in the first place.
Agreed.
What else do we have?
Voice notes are dangerous.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
like it's hard to do a good one. So if you don't think that you can do it, then maybe just don't. The joy that they give me though.
If you've got a really funny, creative new idea, then go for it. That's hilarious. But what I was just saying to Scarlett before was these boys are acting like they've never seen the question before. Like they'll look at the prompt. They've clearly chosen it to then record their voice prompt and they look at it like, my love language. Well, maybe physical touch. That's what they sound like. I swear to God.
He sounded like Pluto the blue dog. Is that what it's called? I don't know.
I swear that's what they sound like to me. Every voice note.
I'm dying. Let me think about that. And then they're like, oh, that was really good, really good.
Like, do you realize you have unlimited takes? You can record that again. Please record that again. Should we get into meeting in the wild?
Yes.
There's a few things to do and to avoid, and we're going to talk about them. These are our rules. Number 1, if you ask for my Snapchat, you're done. You're done. I'm saying immediately no. I don't care what you look like. I don't care if you look like the love of my life. No.
It's a red flag. Why Snapchat?
Like, I don't even have Snapchat anymore. And I'm not saying it's like a bad thing if you do, but there's so
It's
many
giving
better
I have
ways.
a girlfriend.
It's giving it's giving I have a girlfriend and it's giving I'm under 22. Like there's just like if you have Snapchat that's fine, but like don't be talking to people that you want to date on Snapchat. I
People
haven't done that
know
since
it's a
high
red
school.
flag. Like, it's because the messages disappear, right?
Yeah, probably.
And they have a girlfriend at home.
That's
Or they
probably
are
it.
young, right? Maybe young people do talk on there. And
I think young people do.
what about people asking for your number?
Okay, this is controversial because I personally prefer Instagram over number, especially if I'm meeting them like just on a night out and like in passing kind of, because then you can, number 1, suss them out online and like see what their profile is like.
What their vibes are, who their friends are, where they're from. Like,
Go through all of their
absolutely
tag
terrifying.
photos.
Absolutely terrifying going out on a date.
If you just have their number.
And I get some people don't have Instagram, so like that's a whole nother thing there. And like kind of like that. Like, but I would prefer to have a bit of a stalk of like who you're literally going to meet like by yourself.
Yeah, it's scary.
Safety, guys.
I know. And also, I don't fully remember what they look like if you've just met them once on a night out. Like, I think I have done that before with a guy that didn't have Instagram and I could not remember fully what he looked like. When I was meeting him, I was
And you're
like And also, I just don't really like that many random people to have my actual phone number. Like, that just feels a bit like too much. But like my Instagram profile is public anyway. It's like, but then again, some of my friends think the opposite and they would prefer that someone can't stalk them on social media before going on a date. And I kind of get that.
I do get that because I feel like who you are on Instagram is different to who you are in person. Like, let's just be real. You're not like
and also
posting everything on, like, it is a different, who you'd meet, I feel like, face to face and who you'd maybe assume someone is on Instagram could be quite different.
Yeah, exactly.
So I do get it.
They don't need to know, like, we'll post things that we're doing during the day on our Instagram. Like, they don't need to know every detail yet. You can talk about it on the date. So I do get that part of it too. But selfishly, I want to know enough details about them that I can maybe have their number but find their Instagram.
I agree. I think it's just like, it's kind of already scary enough sometimes going on a first date with someone that you completely don't know. Like, let alone having no information about them whatsoever. Like, I could easily talk myself out of it if I don't know anything.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if I had someone's Instagram, I would less talk myself out of it than if I just had their number. And I know that's crazy. I feel like it's actually probably, it is fine. But it is nice to have a bit of a stalk. before you're going on a date.
Okay, next one. The girls that shoot their shot in the wild are usually successful, and we need to do it more.
We talk so much about this and
We do.
never done it.
I know. I saw another TikTok recently that this girl was talking about how shooting your shot is not like chasing a guy. They're two completely different things, because I think we get scared that we're stepping out of our feminine energy and we're like want the guy to come and chase us. But I feel like just letting them know that you're interested is a very different thing, so that they can come and chase you. But like all of my friends that have shot their shot,
But what do they do?
like it could just be as small as like a lot of eye contact, or it could be a bit bigger where they like will go over and talk to someone, but just like say something like, I don't know, you have to make it natural, but you just have to open the door a little bit, because I feel like the guys that are hitting on you when you're out are mostly not the guys that you want.
Yeah.
It's the ones that are like maybe talking to everyone in the room, maybe a little bit creepier, like it's just not necessarily the guy that you want. But the guy that doesn't want to come across creepy and is like too like scared to come, not scared, but like doesn't want to affect your night, so doesn't end up coming to talk to you, that's probably the good guy that you actually want. So if you let him know that you're interested and he has like an open door to come through, I feel like that is actually when things are successful.
No, I actually do agree with this. And we talk so much about this. We do need to try out
But the
theory.
other thing that we were talking about is that we need to be in places that guys are going to be, because you're not going to meet your next boyfriend in your Pilates class.
Maybe.
Doubtful.
Yeah. Being in certain situations, I feel like a gym is a good one.
I know. I think a good mix is good, because you do have to put the effort in a little bit if you are single.
What are we going to start doing? Should we join like a touch football team?
No
Or join touch
way.
football? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like joining like a mixed sport? No, that's what it is. Do you want to start touch football?
I think that would like ruin my chances even more. I'm so uncoordinated.
Same.
But yeah, things like that is where it happens.
And then we have some rules of when you actually are dating.
Yeah.
So more like when you're first in the dating stages.
Okay, we've talked about this in the past, so I wanted to talk about it on the podcast. After a date, who do you think should be the first person to message?
You've changed my mind on this. I've always waited for them, but I like the thank you.
Yeah. So Scarlett said before that she'd prefer them to message, and I would prefer them to message too. But most of the time after a date, if they've like paid for it or whatever, I'll message them after saying thanks for tonight. Like I had a lot of fun. And then that puts the ball in their court to plan the next date. So it's like you did make a move, but then they have to actually follow up and be like, yeah, it was really fun. Like, let's do it again.
Agreed. And I have done this since.
Yeah.
Because I've realized like it's not like you starting a new conversation. It's like you just saying like, thanks for tonight, had fun.
Yeah.
And then they can message again the next time, because like you do have to put a little bit in, right? Like
Yeah.
I've always just been like, oh no, they can do it all, which it's not fair.
Yeah. And also like they might just think you're not interested, even though you are. So I think that's a standard rule that I usually follow if I want to see them again.
But I do also think that if even whether you say thank you or not, if they're interested, the guy, it won't matter.
Yeah.
They'll be
That's true.
back.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, no, that's
Either
true.
way.
If they're like a secure person, then I think they, even if you don't say thank you to them, they will be back. If they're insecure, then maybe not. Our next one was to talk about the second date on the first date.
To do it.
Yeah. So if you want to see each other again, I feel like it's good to work into the conversation like a loose plan for the next date, or even to be like, oh, I like doing this. Like if they say something like, oh, we should do that together sometime, you'd be like, yeah, like we should. Like just have loose comments to the second date.
if you are vibing, you kind of already do.
Yeah.
Like I feel like if you are, like there is chats about other things, like and then you know, okay, we actually are really vibing.
Yeah.
And then if it's not, like, I don't know. I've been on dates before where they're talking about all these things and then they ghost me. So like,
no, it happens.
I feel like
Literally.
sometimes the more they talk about it, I'm like,
oh, because
side
sometimes
eye.
it gives like love bomb. And they're like, oh, let's do this and this, and you're like, oh my god, and then you never hear from them ever again.
I had a guy like, can't wait to like have you over, like cook dinner in the house and do this and do that and do that and let's go to breakfast tomorrow. And then we went for breakfast and I've never heard from him again.
Except you'll never hear from me ever again.
Yeah, except I'm just gonna ghost you instead of doing all those things. So I'm like,
oh yeah.
Have you had that?
Yep, I've had that.
And the next day you're like, yeah, like to all our friends, like, yeah, we really got on, like, we're gonna be doing this, this, and this, and then they're like the next day, so how's blah blah, and you're like,
Never
yeah,
to be heard from ever again.
he actually ghosted me.
Oh, it's tough out there, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's why we have these rules.
So this is a big one. If they are treating you differently around their friends and or family, is a major red flag.
Yes, I 100% agree with this one.
You've had this recently, haven't you, actually?
Yeah. It's just very telling as to like the type of person that they are and maybe their maturity levels, because like you might think that's why meeting friends and family is such an important step, and it could be like quite early on or it could be more down the track, but like you need to see what they're like in all different contexts.
I've actually seen something about this and it was like, why are we doing first dates so serious? Sit down, like invite your friend. If you're going on a night out, invite them out with your friends, which controversial, but like it's seeing you in your, like, it's like not as serious.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like seeing you like fun in your, like you're in like a fun environment, like you're like natural territory. Natural territory.
Natural territory out in the club.
This is where I belong.
My favorite animal.
But like you're comfortable and you're having fun and you can kind of see how they interact with different people as well, and it's not so serious. It's like a sit down date, which I think is actually, to be fair, like not a bad way, because when you do meet someone out or like you're in a friendship group and you meet like a friend of a friend, it's always like kind of fun and not as, like you kind of just do see how they are.
Yeah, I do enjoy like meeting people out when I'm with my friends and just having like a casual chat with them as a first interaction. But I do feel like the first date does need to be just you two so that you can actually get to know each other. But like I do get that. When you're meeting someone for the first time and it's like so serious and you're like, oh, I don't like that.
And even how they interact with your friends as well,
Oh,
like is such a big one,
huge.
because we are such people that we love our friends and always with them. Like you have to get along with my friends.
100%. I've had boyfriends that have been really bad with my friends and boyfriends that have been really good. And now it's just like essential. Like it makes me like them so much more if they're really nice to my friends and my friends like them. Like that is like really essential. So boys, pull out all the stops.
Impress the
you need to
friends.
impress your friends as much as you impress me.
No, literally, like, because your friend's opinion, you value it so much, and they're the ones that are going to be honest. Like, obviously, sometimes, most of the time, they're right. I feel like.
I think they are, and like you do know what you want, but like they are looking out for what's best for you from like a perspective that you can't necessarily see.
It can be blinding. You can't actually, it's so crazy when you're in a situation you actually can't see what's right in front of you.
You have actual blindness.
Yeah.
Like fully, I look back and I'm like, what was I well? Was I actually well? But I've known, because there's been guys that I've been seeing that I've never introduced to my friends because I was embarrassed. And that is not good.
That is there you red
There
flag.
you have it. There you have it. That is your answer. Okay, I think we've yapped on enough about all of our dating rules. And also take it with a grain of salt. These are just funny things. It's not serious.
It's not that deep.
Disclaimer, we're actually
lover girls at heart.
Yeah, we are. And we will let these things slide if it's the right person. Some of them.
Some of them. Not all.
Not all. Not all.
We're actually really scary and you can't do any of these otherwise. But I feel there's dating etiquette and I just don't understand why some things like are so simple.
It shows what kind of person you are though, and maybe someone will like some of these things that I won't, and that's okay. So
first impressions are important.
Yeah, they 100%.
End of the story.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, thank you for joining us while we have our dating chats. We would love if anyone could rate and review us on Spotify, and make sure you subscribe and download wherever you get your podcast.
And make sure you follow us on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube at White Fox After Hours, and we'll see you next week.